Hello and welcome to this Thankful Tuesday. Sharyn Anderson-Campbell here. I pray all is well with you and your family. Just wanted to talk a little bit as the month of April is coming to an end. I ask that you will not forget about children who are being physically and sexually abused. Keep them in your prayers. The other thing is, if you hear something, see something, suspect something, make sure you report it immediately. Again, being a child should not hurt. One of the things that I want to bring to that comes to mind is that when I talked about my book, The Cry No One Heard, for which many of you know about by now. And for those of you who have supported me, I want to thank you so much for that. But I believe it in part 3, chapter 1 of the book, it talks about the scar within my soul. And that is just talking about, once the physical scars have healed and those kind of things like that, the emotional scars are still there, and a lot of the damage, if you will, takes place in a person's soul. And that's why it's so hard to overcome the impact of these evil acts. The other thing is, just remember that children are a heritage of the Lord, and that's what he says. He says that they are a reward from him. And with that being said, they need to be treated as such. If you have, no right, you or anyone else has no right to cause them any kind of injury or serious bodily harm. For those of you who struggle with ancestral behaviors, you should, check out the book of Leviticus and meditate on that and see what God has to say about incest, and pray that he will heal you, deliver you, and set you free from those behaviors. I do not know, what it is about uncles, but beware of them. I can't keep count of the victims/survivors who have been violated or sexually abused by their uncles. So very disturbing things. But as we move forward throughout the year, just remember, let's do our part in keeping children safe. Rather, if you find that someone needs help, here are some tips on preventing child abuse and neglect. Use discretion, especially if you're a single parent. When you need someone to care for your children, you want to use discretion. The other thing is ask for help. It could be challenging raising children with two parents, more so when there's just one parent. So if you need help, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Utilize all available resources, in your community. Check out, what agencies provide food, okay? What agencies provide or donate clothing to children, during the Christmas holidays. There's the Angel Tree and all kind of different places that will donate toys and different things for children. The other thing is seek help. Seek help for your own unresolved trauma so that we can stop the cycle. Take your medication as prescribed. If you struggle with mental health issues and, you've been prescribed medication, and, make sure that you taking your medication as prescribed. The other thing is avoid substances. All that they do is enhance whatever diagnosis that you have, those kind of things like that. Also to provide a safe environment for your children where they can thrive spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Just a little bit, wanted to check in. We have a day or so left, and then April will be on, but I'll still be talking about preventing child abuse. I'll still be promoting my book, The Cry No One Heard. The subtitle is Listen for the Cry. If you are one of those people who just care about your four and no more, there's going to be issues should you run into this child or these children at your school, right? Or even at your university. Some people are older when they're trying to deal with and understand the things that they experienced as a child. As an employer, you may run into adults who have been wounded, and their inner child has been wounded, and they're trying to heal. So once again, please, please, please pray for all children. Pray for each other, and different things like that. Just make sure that if you do see something, you hear something, you report it immediately and save a child's life. Do your best, do your part to intervene and save a child's life. Probably sometime, I would imagine, within the next 24 hours or so, I'll be doing a small video with my husband, Mark, who some of you know and some of you don't. He's usually doing things behind the scene, but I thank God for his support. And it can be very challenging being married to someone who has a lot of childhood trauma, or any childhood trauma for that matter, especially if it's unresolved. So just continue to pray. Those of you who, know the Lord, you're, spirit-filled, pray, pray, pray. We can never send up enough prayers for our children who are our futures. I can just real briefly mention some of the veterans that I've worked with. They've gone overseas and come back, and the thing that still haunts them is our childhood trauma. Just various populations who have moved, and they're doing things, but they have a story just similar to mine, and they're just trying to make it, do life, and be successful and heal from these evil acts. Once again, Sharyn Anderson-Campbell here, and I thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support, and I just pray that you would continue to seek the Lord's face. Okay, 2 Chronicles 7:14 tells us, if we would seek his face and, turn from our wicked ways, he will heal our land, That's what we want to make sure that we're doing. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll be back on shortly. Be blessed.